Welcome to a special bonus episode of WitchTV.
We are halfway through our first season, and so we're celebrating by reading your comments, stories, and aha moments inspired by each episode.
We also drop some behind-the-scenes tea, debate about the definition of a ghost, and share what's to come on the hidden history of magic.
Thanks so much for being here. We love you gorgeous witches. Should we start?
Last sip. Okay, ready.
I feel like you can sip on this. This is a bonus.
Oh, yes. Keeping it loose.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Hidden History of Magick. This is a very special episode of WitchTV where Rhiannon and I are going to debrief the Coven notes from the Coven about the first half of the first season of our brand new, very special, wonderful podcast. Rhiannon, how are you this morning?
I am feeling chit-chatty for some reason. I just woke up.
Fun fact, Rhiannon and I, both mothers, and we record these very, very early in the morning.
Yes.
I mean, people would be gagged. I think they'd be on the floor if they knew that we got glammed up this early. This is why I know we could host a morning show, a talk show. We're ready to go.
Oh, yes. The 5 a.m. call. I think I could do it. No, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling excited. I can't believe that we're at the halfway point for season 1 of the Hidden History of Magick. This has flown by. We've also recorded so many episodes.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I know. Wild. We know. We're in the time machine. We know what's coming for everybody. And I think at the end of the episode, we'll give a couple little teasers about what people can expect and some of the great guests that we have coming and on our dream board.
Yes.
Before we dive into the comments and some of our shout outs to the listeners, I'm wondering if you have any big takeaways, like right off the bat, like anything kind of overarching from episodes you loved?
It's so interesting because I think when I came into this, I thought that I would be, learning about history more.
Okay.
And on a history podcast.
We've certainly learned a lot of history.
A lot of history. More history than I've ever known.
Yeah.
And also, there's something about, it doesn't matter what year we're looking at. For example, upcoming, spoiler. We're looking at 1310. We're looking at...
How dare you give people a year like they're going to go, oh, yeah, that thing.
1310, whether it's 1850, 1907, it feels like there's something that's really relevant to today. And I feel like I keep pulling in like, oh yeah, I have to remember that this is how someone else dealt with it when it was worse, when it was arguably worse. And I feel like the thing that's opening me up in a way is that women in history,
speak on it,
and psychic women in history really have been persecuted in a way, or there's this like pressure or something. And the women who rise above, who are these like shining examples of what it means to just like let spirit flow through you and walk the path. They have these incredible stories. Yeah. They have these amazing accomplishments. They're like literally changing the world and changing the way that we view art or view freedom or view whatever.
Yeah.
And
our rights as humans.
Oh, yes. And
we're going to get there.
And it's not because the doors were open for them. It's not because people were like, oh, cool, you can do magic. They had to do it in spite of everything. They had to do it at risk of their reputation.
I was just going to say the same thing. And I don't want to give a spoiler for who we're talking about, but there's one woman in particular whose story is so groundbreaking that it literally, when we started doing research about her, you and I were screaming at each other.
Yes.
Screaming.
Yes.
Because we were like, how do we not know about this woman? And we've dealt with some really iconic women on this show. I mean, it's not like this woman is standing alone, but wow, I think to your point, like we don't need permission.
Yes.
Even societally, culturally,
Yes.
in the law, in the eyes of the law. I mean, some of these women were like starting businesses and doing things so before their time, before they were allowed to, before they legally had
Suing.
the rights to.
Yes, some of them, future spoiler, suing the guilds to be able to do it themselves. Like, yeah, they were getting involved because they were just following the nudges. They were psychic and letting their psychic gifts guide them.
And I do agree that it's like history isn't really history, right? And we
Mhm.
believe this as psychics that like the timelines are always moving and we're always I believe I can communicate with the past life version of myself. I'll whisper her messages and I'll leave her notes and even the future versions. And it's like we're kind of in this place where all of these stories are being held in one collective. And what does it mean to go back and think about them and give them space? And there's something really magical about it. So, ooh.
Yeah, I know. And I feel so inspired because
Yes.
sometimes I am like, ooh, are people going to think I'm weird? Because here's the other thing that I'm noticing as a trend
Mm,
is that there are plenty of people out there who know about a lot of the people that we're covering. It's not like no one's heard of Harriet Tubman. It's not
yeah.
like no one talks about Queen Victoria and her seances, right? Like this isn't groundbreaking in the sense that like it's secret, like, ooh, we've unearthed something that no one has
There's
ever.
whispers.
There's whispers. It is rumor. It is gossip. And I love gossip. But also, to me, it's very interesting that there's no problem with touting the magic in the sense of like how cool some of these people are. Like, even thinking about Hilma Klimt, for example, like she's having a moment, like
Mm,
truly having a, and she's in Paris right now. There's like a moment for her, and everyone's talking about how cool her art is, and people are impacted by how cool her art is. And I still find it interesting that in order to pedestal some of these women, we kind of have to disconnect the magic from them or the mediumship. Magic is an easy word to be like, oh, they're magical, but sometimes we have to disconnect the like full wackadoodle eye channel higher beings.
hmm
This God told me, you know what I mean? Like we have to go, well, obviously that doesn't exist. So blah, blah, blah. Or it's almost like there's that part of them, which is the part that is, which I'm learning through this podcast. I didn't know this before, but it is the main driver of
Mm,
what motivates them. But
yeah.
somehow we have to like sanitize it to legitimize their success. Like, oh no, they're not crazy.
Well,
They're
we did this thing in production where we have like our, let's set the scene and then we go into the juice of it. And then, we originally had set up this idea of the cover up where we talk about the backlash of whatever they were experiencing. But I think we kind of abandoned it pretty early in the show because every cover up is the same. We just don't believe
yeah,
women. We just don't believe in magic. I mean, it's the
it's
same
true.
story
Yeah.
applied across every woman's experience for hundreds of years. I mean, it's almost comical. And
It
when
is.
our
It is like every time it's like, oh no, she was just a lady doing lady things. And it's like, okay. And that was enough. Like there's no, we don't need a spooky, dark underlord.
right,
Yeah.
it's just eh.
Yeah.
Before we get too into our comments here, I want to just give a shout out. We have a coven meeting on June 29th. We'll be meeting under the full moon, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our coven meetings are so much fun. We do spell swaps, we do conspiracy theory current events. We have a giggle, we have a laugh, we share magical stories. If you'd like to join us, make sure you're part of our coven tier on Patreon.
And this month, since it's under the full moon, we'll be doing a little full moon ritual.
Oh, yeah. So, Rhiannon, I think it's pretty obvious that we're a podcast based out of the United States, but would you like to hear some of the other countries who are getting a little listen here on some magic?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so US is number one, USA. And then, I'm so sorry for that, whatever that was. And then number two, we've got Canada. Hello, oh, Canada. And then we've got the UK. However, we're talking to Brazil, we're talking to Australia, we're talking to France, we're talking to Latvia. So
Oh,
we've got some girlies around the world. Hi, everybody.
hi. Maybe this is an excuse to go plan a visit.
Ooh.
where we can record a podcast live. I don't know.
Don't worry. Rhiannon and I are up to stuff. We want to plan a Hidden History of Magic trip at some point where we all go and learn a history lesson together in a big castle in Scotland or something like that.
It's like there's 3 listeners in Scotland. Let's go. Let's gather it up and get out there.
Let's do it. Let's read some of these Apple comments. Anna Placid wrote, loved it. There's something relaxing and low stress and informative about this. It's an interesting take on looking at how magic and energy shape and continue to shape us. I also love how easy it is to pick up where I left off because I've got a short commute. Highly recommend. Thank you, Anna, for sharing your comment.
Oh, thank you. Okay, and we have it. Natalie K124 says, so whimsical and captivating. I'm all caps loving this podcast. First, I love that we're finally talking about how magic and woo-woo has shaped our history. Second, the chemistry. The chemistry of this show is so fun. I love the music transitions.
Shout out my husband.
Sal. And how much fun you can feel the host having. Glad to be in this coven. Thank you, Natalie.
What a lovely comment. Laura shares, I am a listener of the podcast and I enjoy it so much. You spoke directly to an issue I've been struggling with during today's episode, and I can't thank you enough. So very excited to be, hitting people energetically. Essentially, guys, we have gotten so many wonderful comments about each episode. I mean, we have pages and pages of notes here. So we're going to kind of pick, but the best way to comment is really on Patreon because we can rate you back. Yes. And if you are on Patreon, you get our little emails and our little updates. And as we decide to do events and things like that, it's the best way to stay in touch with us. So even if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, that's totally cool. We love you there too. But definitely join the Patreon as a free subscriber so you can get our emails, when things come to be, we release a new workshop, stuff like that.
And even if you're not on the Patreon, but also if you're on the Patreon, rating and reviewing really does help with the show. It helps the show reach a wider audience. So if you like the show, share with a friend, or just, leave a little review. It's so helpful to have feedback because then we
really
know,
is, yeah.
like what do we dive deeper into this angle? Do we pull back on that angle? Like we are still a baby show.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing.
And so letting us know, obviously it's more helpful if you tell us what you like, and then we could do more of that. And then if you have feedback, come to the Patreon and leave it in the chat there.
Or join the coven and tell it to our faces.
Oh, I love that. Yes. That sounded like such a threat. Say it to my face.
Where should we go from here? Do you want to guess what our most popular episode is? Do you know?
I do. You know what? I do look at the analytics. I have a spreadsheet of the analytics. I'm a Virgo.
All right. Why don't you tell the people
our most popular episode to date?
Mm-hmm.
Queen Victoria.
Is it really?
Yes.
On Apple, it's not.
Oh, I'm looking at the Patreon analytics.
Yeah, you know what? We might be here and there because our analytics suck. But Hilma af Klint is the most popular on Apple.
Whoa, that's amazing. She's having a moment. And I am so excited. I would not have known who she was
without the show.
Yeah, because I missed the New York moment, in 2019. And I do love her art now.
Of course. Hanging in my living room.
Yeah. I found something that looks a little Hilma. I'm sending it to you. Now, when I look at something, I can be like, oh, that looks like Hilma. But the other thing about it is that I'm discovering just the whole genre of mediumistic art. And it's so cool. There's so many. I don't know if I actually mentioned it, but right after we released that episode, I went to the High Museum of Art here in Atlanta, and their exhibit was Minnie Evans, who was basically the Southern Hilma af Klint. They had her very first channeled piece of art, and it was just kind of like scratches on a piece of paper with pencil. And then over the course of like 3 decades, her work just completely evolved to these beautiful mandalas of angels. And she was talking about how it was all channeled, how, and you could see how the process got refined over time, not in the way of like, oh, here's an artist enhancing her craft, but it was like someone who was like wobbledy with a pencil
Yeah.
to someone who suddenly could play with color. It was so, and so I was like, oh my God, this is like Hilma af Klint. I could reference it because I had no idea, but there's this whole world of mediumistic art. And I feel like she's the person who's like opened the door to even allow us to talk about it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm so grateful for her moment. It was such a fun episode too.
I love Hilma.
And I love her coven. She inspired me to like, oh, I need to be in a medium circle, or, like I need to be doing
Mm.
something where I'm just like doing psychic shit with friends
Yeah, yeah,
very
yeah.
regularly,
Yeah,
where you just gather and like channel.
of course.
Oh,
I know
brilliant.
I miss channeling too with a group. Jeno writes, I hadn't heard of Hilma af Klint before, and I don't always connect with abstract style paintings, but I looked up her work and I was floored. Her paintings are so moving.
How about you? What are your feelings on Hilma, the episode?
I mean, I love Chris DeRosa. I'm in love with him. I love him. And I was so excited that he had picked the topic, and I love hearing him scream about anybody. So I love Hilma. I love that it opened something up with me. Actually, remember when I was texting you about the birds, how I was like connecting with her through
Yes.
the birds? Before this episode, I saw a little yellow goldfinch, which is like my sign
Oh,
from her. So I still feel very connected to all of the women. And certainly Helma is one of them.
oh, I love that.
Another episode that we got a lot of kind of aha moments with was Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
One of our more recent episodes here, but I think a lot of people were surprised that we chose Harriet and were really excited to kind of dive into her legacy and her mysticism. Katie Johnson Smith writes, "Okay, I cried during this one. Wow, Harriet Tubman Nation, rise up, literally." And she said, "Thank you for this episode." Erin O'Riordan wrote, "It's really difficult to explain Harriet Tubman's success without talking about a kind of miracle, isn't it? A formerly enslaved lady with a disability really had all the odds stacked against her. And yet, Dr. Lucara is a lovely guest, and this history definitely needs to become unhidden." I feel like we got a lot of good energy about Harriet. Any Harriet stories on your end?
I did have people texting me like, "Oh, I got to listen to your Harriet episode." And I was like, "Oh my God, you listen to the podcast?" No. Got to listen to the Harriet episode though. And so I think there is something about, she's so known
Mm-hmm.
in history, and we do leave out the mystic part of it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that it's speaking to people, because that's the thing. I don't know. There's something about like shock and awe that are really important in life.
Mm.
Like it keeps us open and naive and in that fool energy. And there's something
Yeah.
about her episode, because it's like other people, I didn't have a preconceived notion. I didn't know any, or, even
Right,
Queen
right. But you think
Victoria.
with Harriet. You think you got her
Yes.
story clocked. Even the
Yes.
heartbreak of it all is like
Oh, my
you're
favorite
gagged, you're
part.
gooped.
The
Divorce to purpose pipeline.
Yes. Put it on a t-shirt.
It'll be one of our bingo cards, maybe.
Yes.
I also think Dr. Lucara was like the perfect guest to speak to it. Like there's something really magical about her.
I mean, she's how you heard about Harriet Tubman
Yes,
being
yes,
mystic. Yeah.
yes.
I'm so grateful. She was such a great guest. Okay. So, signs were big in this first half of the season. We talked about signs from your ancestors in Witch TV. We did a signs workshop in our coven meeting. We have a signs workshop out now. And it feels like that's like the first way to kind of flirt with psychic messages, not just being psychic, because it's one thing to, have intuition and follow your gut. It's another one when the universe is speaking to you.
Mm,
And I feel
yeah.
like signs is like the way that you dance with that. And the more that you acknowledge, then it kind of opens up a little bit more and a little bit more. So I love, love, love when people share.
Okay, we've got a note here about signs from Amber. She writes, "The other sign that happened recently is I've been trying to push myself to accomplish as much as possible in my day-to-day life. I struggle with the downtime. I was trying out something in my basement without realizing it when I literally knocked a hammer off its hook and it fell on my head. Ouch. After taking it easy with several ice packs and crying my eyes out, ooh, girl, we've all been there, I retooled my day by getting a coffee with my dog and taking it easier. On the way to get a coffee, a truck pulled in front of me, and guess what the license plate was? It said Hammer. The spirits were cackling about that one.
Ha! They dropped the hammer.
They dropped
Oh.
the hammer and then they said, "Girl, take it slow." Wow,
Yes.
that's so fun. What a
Uh,
kind of like throwdown of you see it, you feel it, and then gets reinforced by spirit. And you can't make
yes.
that stuff up.
No, love a billboard, you know? Okay, you asked for a story of signs. This was one of the strongest I've experienced. In 2001, I did a charity walk, the Avon Breast Cancer 3-day, which was what it says on the tin, 3 days of walking, 60 plus miles total, with tents provided, meals, hot shower trailers. It was delayed because of 9/11. Oh, yeah, 2001. Oof. And so when we did the walking, we couldn't use the route from Bear Mountain to Manhattan. It was also much later toward November. So it was cold AF,
Mm.
low 40s, high 30s at night. Really not fun. There were a lot of groups. One was probably about 20 to 25 people, all wearing shirts in memory of a young woman who had died rather recently of breast cancer. They all had the same design, a giant dragonfly with her name. During one of the meal breaks, they were seated near me, and a giant dragonfly, big as my hand, flew over me and then landed on one woman's back, just behind her shoulder. I started chewing my food so fast and pointing at them. The dragonfly flew away just as I was able to tell them what had happened. I was crying, they were crying, and I felt awful for making them all cry. No,
Oh,
love to
that's the
make people cry.
best. That's the best.
But I have no doubt that it was a sign that the person they loved was with them. Dragonflies are typically active in that area in the summer, and I had rarely seen one. Oh, because we're talking
Yes, it's
freezing.
cold. It's cold. They're not out that late. They're not
No.
out in, the late fall months. Yeah.
So it feels like a signal. I try to pay attention. Oh,
Oh, Sarah, what a beautiful story. I love that. Ooh, gave me chills to think about the dragonflies and good for you for pointing it out and kind of giving everyone a moment to like feel the energy there.
yes.
Really cool.
One of the things that we've been playing with on the podcast also is the Witch TV, where we go a little deeper into the magic behind the history. And I think these are, I don't know about you, Erin, but these have been pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm so surprised because when we were building the show, we really were like, oh, we're going to put these behind the paywall, like a
Mm-hmm.
little behind the scenes. And then we listened to the first episode and we thought, you know what, these are fun. Like, let's throw them out there. And because the history and the research involves so much time and energy, we can't physically, at this point of our life, this is not our full-time job, produce one episode a week of the history. And so we thought maybe we can kind of float these in, give people, satiate a little bit, talk about magic. And we were a little nervous, I think, because we're diverting from the traditional,
Program.
yeah, program.
Yeah.
And people have been so kind about Witch TV. And some people's favorite episodes are Witch TV. And it's so
Oh,
nice to like have people give us feedback about kind of these little one-on-one conversations. I mean, I learned so much during them and I have so much fun doing them. My dream is for us to have our own little talk show. So this is like a reenactment of that for sure.
yeah, I know. I think where I get insecure too, because they always feel vulnerable. I get a little vulnerability hangover when we
Yeah.
do these because it's like we're not teaching, like it's not a lesson. It's not like
No, we're just,
okay, I'm
yeah.
psychic, but there is a lot of like I don't know how are you doing it? How am I doing it? And
Yeah.
we're different people, so we have different relationships with energy and the
Yeah.
ways that we approach it and what we
How it
believe
comes
because of it.
through.
Yes, I love doing the Witch TV because it's after we've talked about our topic for
Yeah.
the week. And so it's even bringing in some of the ways that those people are changing the way that I'm thinking about my practice. Because
Mm.
this is the thing about the unseen realms. And maybe it's because it's unseen, is that it's not rigid. It's fully mutable and malleable, and it can transform and evolve constantly. It doesn't take a lot to change a psychic thing. And so these conversations have been really helpful for me, even as like a working psychic
Yeah,
and
yeah.
energy worker. And so they've been so fun. And I'm so glad when people are connecting with it because, again, I don't know, there's something about the way that social media works that I feel like
Shouting into the void.
Yeah. And even just like, oh, are we giving people, because we're not saying like, this is how you do it. We're saying like, this is how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it feels really vulnerable to be like, this is how I do it. I don't know if it's right. It feels right for me, but you know what I mean? Like, this is, you can try it this way. You can find your version of it. And so it's been a really fun process. I think the more that we do it, the more that I really love it because it's
Helping
helping
you
me
stand in your
think.
convictions.
Well, and even not even that, because it's both like, yeah, standing in the conviction, but it's almost like, okay, so the way that I'm seeing it now is like a vine. I love vining flowers. They're like my favorite. So it's like passion vine is how I'm seeing it. So standing in my conviction and that I can root deeper in how I'm doing it by announcing it, right? I can, but also that how I'm doing it is changing. Like a vine is always growing. It's always taking new form and new shape. And suddenly it's flowering and these little tendrils are curling over here. And this is over. So it's like expanding the way that I do it by hearing your process or your thought to, like, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the joy of magic, is that it's not like we don't exist alone.
Mm.
We're not confined by the walls of our body.
And magic is amplified when you're together.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's true.
Ah, I love it. So thank you everyone for letting us do letting us do. For I love the feedbacks. Okay. That being said, we got some comments. So Jacqueline Marquez says about the infusing your creative process with magic witch TV, inspired by Hilma Off Clint's episode. Literally loved this episode. Somehow feel like you were specifically speaking to me. I'm similar to Rhiannon's husband. I see a movie in my head and I just write down what I see. I just need moody music to focus on. I love this. This is like such a vibe. Like, this is like the artist vibe that I want, where I'm like, oh, time for me to
Yeah,
jot it
get
down, put
down.
on some music. And that helps me get into the headspace. When I had the idea for my debut, it was a crazy conviction in my chest. I knew I would be a published writer. Oh, I love this.
Ooh, I got chills.
Yes. Then 10 months later, my debut was published. I'm working on the sequel now, and I just attended the Festival of Books this weekend and sold out.
Oh my God, Jacqueline.
Congrats. It was crazy that I knew my life was changing. Crazy, or,
Or meant
it's
to
the,
be. Kismet.
this is also one of those like chicken and egg things that I think about with
Mm.
manifestation. Like, how much of manifestation is, okay, you need to like embody it, you need to know it to receive it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
how much of it, of being able to know something, is because the stars are like, this is coming, this is coming. You know what I mean? And it's like this dance.
Mm.
Ah, I love this. It was the same when I started my cake business. I knew, all caps, knew in my chest that it was going to happen. And I'm now 6 years in. Amazing. Sarah J. Moss literally got me into reading again and then back to writing. That's what I went to school for. Thank you so much for sharing your processes. It makes me feel a little less crazy.
Oh my God, I love this. And congratulations again, Jacqueline. That's it's such an inspiring story to read.
This is wonderful. This is so exciting. We talked about lighting a candle.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to do like magic. I wonder if we need to do that, like, know it in my body.
Mm. Yeah, that was the hint that I got, is that I love that she knows it's in her chest. Like that's a sign, like that's, sometimes my eyes water when spirit talks to me, or I get certain, like that's your body tell. That's like, write that down. Like when chest stuff happens to you, like take
That's it.
notice.
Ooh, it's truth. Love it.
We've got another comment about our episode of Witch TV about how to talk to your ancestors without a medium. Sib writes, "Oh, I love this episode. I'm a baby in terms of communicating with my spirit team, but signs I've received have included basic stuff like angel numbers so many times, but i.e., the other day I was walking down the street playing Pokemon Go, incredible, and overthinking the crystal purchase I just made, relatable.
Yeah.
And I asked if I fucked up then and looked down at my screen and saw I had 222 candies for the Pokemon. I had just caught and
Oh my God.
feathers because that's been a thing for me. The latest instance being I've been wanting a new incense holder because I have a tiny round one, but I want a long wooden one. And so I went to the aforementioned crystal store, and there was one long metallic feather shaped incense holder sitting on the top of the wooden ones. It goes on to tell us about some other signs.
Ah,
And I love it. I think that's the thing, right? Is signs are subtle, signs like hit you, signs can really be anywhere, even as you're kind of walking down the street or, playing your Pokemon Go. I feel like a game that I play with myself is if I'm listening to the radio, I ask Spirit to send me a song. And then I will say, do you want me to go? Because the way my car works, like I have to hit left or right. So I ask Spirit to tell me where to find the song.
mhm.
And then I kind of sit with whatever the message is in that song. So, I mean, there's so many different ways to play with signs.
I love that. Now, I have a question for you, Erin.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so sorry. I am feeling so chit chatty today.
So let's do it. I'm half asleep. So I'm glad one of us is present for this recording.
What is your take on angel numbers?
I love an angel number. I generally gravitate towards 444 or 1111.
Mm.
Those are like kind of the two that I flirt with. Like if I see other numbers, I don't care that much about them for some reason.
You're like, not for me. Got it.
But actually, my daughter is very into signs, my 7-year-old, and she said the other day she saw 6666. And I
Ooh.
thought, love it, girl. We're so like Catholic and Christian that we're like, 66, it's the devil. But it actually can be creative. That number can actually mean a lot of things. So I thought that was cute that she was kind of on the hunt for angel numbers.
I love that. So when you see those numbers, like that's enough. It's just a synchronicity. Or do you believe in like, I don't know. I feel like there's some website out there that's like the angel numbers website. And maybe it's because when I started Googling it, it was like 15 years ago and it was like the only website out there
Yeah.
where they have like the meaning for the numbers. Do you look up the meaning or is it just enough to see the run?
I don't know the meanings, but I will say, like, let's say like we're in a text conversation and then
Mm-hmm.
it's 444. I'm like, ooh, cool. Like that's like we're in sync of where we're supposed to be. Like I don't
Yeah,
think too much about it, but I'm not like a
that's great.
numerology babe. So I'm sure
Okay.
people could interpret it in different ways. And, I even have friends who read the tarot by the numerology. So
Oh, cool.
it can be something that you use. For me, it's just like, oh, great. Like I'm present,
Mm-hmm.
I'm noticing, and I'm being guided.
Ooh, I love that. Like at the end of last year, I had three different people come up to me to ask me about numerology. And I was like, oh, I'm not into numerology.
Interesting.
Yeah. But whenever three people come up to me like that, I'm like, okay, I guess I have to look into numerology. And with the angel numbers, I did used to Google it, like what it means. And I do have specific numbers. Did you know? Fun fact. I was born at 1919 on 9-1. And so
Mm.
what like 1-9 is like 9 is my lucky number and 1 is a helpful one. And so if I see 19s, but
Oh, yeah,
also
yeah,
for
yeah.
some reason, like the number 17, I pay when it's like 1717. If I'm like in like going for a walk and then the address is 1717, I always pay. I don't even know why. I don't know what it means. I don't know who it's
Yeah.
from. It's just like certain numbers pull me. And then the sequential numbers, usually that'll get me to stop. The number 5 is the only one. Like I know that 4s are angels and 5s are about change. And so
Mm.
to me, like 555 is the tower card. But I like it because I like change, but also so yeah, I never know if it's just enough. I mean, it's always just enough to like see the numbers and go like thank you, or if I need to be like threes, the ascended masters are around me, or
Mm. I think however it feels to you.
Mm-hmm.
I also had a friend when I was editing my documentary Dream Girl, my co-editor Francesca Kustra. Anytime it was 11:11, she would stop editing and she would look at me and she'd say, "Make a wish." Like
Oh,
literally, like religiously every single day at 11:11. We were like, "Okay, here we go."
I love
So
that.
I think it can kind of evolve too with you depending on where you're at, what
Yeah.
you're up to.
Yeah. My 8-year-old loves making a wish at 11:11.
We also got a lot of comments about our alien episode. Now,
Dun,
Rhiannon and
dun,
I, a little
dun.
behind the scenes, we were like, we got to bring Eleanor in because she's such a great
Yes.
expert. And we were like, what alien story can we tell our audience that they're not going to like freak out about? Because I realized that aliens are kind of like a spiritual stretch for some people.
I mean, when we came together, we sat down immediately and were like, what is your definition of magic?
Hmm.
And what falls under that umbrella? Because for
Yeah.
me, the supernatural is the supernatural. To me, supernatural is magic. So that includes ghosts, because you got to be psychic to talk to ghosts, right? Or you know what I mean?
I
Like
don't
there's like,
I don't believe in ghosts, but keep going.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't believe in ghosts in that I believe that everything is living through the veil. Like the
I don't think they're trapped.
our term of ghost of like it being this boogeyman, like they're just I believe in people through the veil. That's what I think a ghost is.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Because I do home clearings. I grew up in a house that was haunted.
Yeah.
So I experienced ghosts, not quite daily, but frequently.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't fuck
Those
with
are
ghosts.
souls that haven't transitioned fully.
Well, it depends. Because
Oh, tell me.
when I started doing home clearings, I don't put it
Mhm.
on my website. I don't fuck with ghosts
Yeah, yeah.
because I am afraid of ghosts. I'm like the opposite of a ghostbuster. I had a friend who came to me and I'm like, okay, well, if people ask me to do it, I take it as a sign from spirit to like stretch and do
Hmm.
like animal communication I've done because someone has asked, like I'll do
Yeah.
it if I'm being pulled.
Sure.
And the
Find
ghost,
someone $500,000 in an old abandoned house. Sure, sure.
yes.
We've all been
Oh
there.
my God, you have to tell that story. You haven't told that story yet.
I haven't told that story yet.
Okay. Yes. So invitation, right? So my friend, her autistic child kept seeing a woman in their house and
Yeah.
I believe it,
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, and so I was like, okay, fine, let me see what's going on. And what I was shown is that it wasn't even a dead person. It was a person who was still living, but it was someone who had, oh, what's going on? A ghost? Did
No,
you see
I'm
a ghost?
thinking, what do you
Oh,
mean they
okay.
were still living?
Oh, okay. So what I was
Like
shown,
through the like in a different timeline or what?
well, when we have trauma, you know
Uh-huh.
how we like we have to do
Manifest something?
we have to do soul retrievals. In shamanic work, you do like soul retrievals, right? Because during trauma, sometimes a piece of you gets stuck in that time. For example, when you
Oh.
are triggered and you
Hmm.
go back to a time, to me, that's time traveling. You're
Okay,
going
okay.
back to that moment in space time
Hmm.
and you're reliving this thing and playing out, right? And
Got it.
so there are times when a piece of us experience something really traumatic and
And
it
they're left
plays.
there.
And it's an imprint
Okay.
in space time. And
Yes.
so this isn't true. Like this isn't true for all ghosts, but
Yeah.
sometimes. So for example, it made me think about the ghost in my house
Hmm.
because it was always someone that was like flushing the toilet. Like you could hear them enter the door, walk
Yeah.
in the stairs,
In
walk
a
in the
specific
kitchen,
spot.
put the keys down. It's like they were coming home from work and then going to the
Mm.
bathroom. And that was this loop that was playing out over and over. And it was scary
Wow.
because you can't see them. Or you like, I didn't know. I was like, I never want to see ghosts. So that's
Yeah.
my agreement. But it felt like for this clearing that I did, that whenever the frequency of the home matched the frequency of the imprint, like if there was like
Mm.
fighting or like intensity in the space,
The boy
that
would
is
see
what
it.
that because it was the same
So how do you
energy.
clear that?
It's the same way as doing when you do energy work on a person and
Hmm.
there's like an imprint, you bring in like unconditional love and forgiveness, and then you
Mm.
send it back. You can, I mean, I call on angels and stuff. And so for this case, because it felt like the person was still alive, what
Hmm.
we do is we like wrap it in heat, like I wash it with earth and the elements,
Hmm.
and then we send it back to the person, but with the option to receive it and process it if they need to still, or if they've moved on from this thing, then we give it as an offering to the earth to transmute it. It's like a,
Rhiannon, that's the same thing we do to transition a soul to the other side.
oh,
Yes, you
really?
like blast it with love
Mm-hmm.
and like allow the body to kind of receive
Yes.
and using the earth,
Ah.
using the elements, using the guides, angels, whoever wants to be there to help
Oh my
to
God.
move them kind of to the other place. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And when it's like a
Isn't
ghost
that funny?
ghost, that's amazing. Yeah. When it's someone that's like not alive anymore, they don't have to process it. Right. So you don't have to send it back to them.
Yeah.
I call in Usually I'll call in Uriel
Hmm.
to help them guide them with the light to cross over.
Yeah. That's an archangel for people who are like, who's Uriel?
Always. Yeah. But all of this to me is in the realm of supernatural, which
Mm,
counts as psychics. And then I think like I don't know how much of it is cultural because I'm Mexican from New Mexico and New Mexico has aliens. New Mexico has like La Llorona. Like there's stuff that's just like
part
La
of it.
Llorona isn't just like a boogeyman story. It's like we would get in the back of the school bus and exchange La Llorona sightings. And like,
Ooh.
oh, one time. So it's like very much part of like the supernatural is part of the reality. I grew up even kind of far from Roswell, but I was close enough to Alamogordo and Los Alamos National Labs, which is why I think New Mexico has so much
Yeah,
alien
I mean,
activity.
when you're in the cultural zeitgeist of it all,
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I know everything about Josh Allen. Like, I don't need to, but I live in
Oh,
Buffalo, and so go Bills.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we would like play sports in Roswell and go eat at
Yeah,
kitschy alien places. The TV show Roswell came out when I was in
of
high
course.
school. To me, aliens very much are in the realm of supernatural, which to me is magic. So it doesn't feel like such a leap, but this is something that you say a lot
Mm.
if you want to speak to it. But this idea of the militarization of aliens.
Well, it's harmful and helpful
Mm.
because what I have learned from the congressional hearings that happened 2020s
Yes, I
was the
was here
first
in
one.
Atlanta already because, oh, baby, I was locked in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was our first sightings that weren't like farmers in the middle of
Mhm.
nowhere. So we're getting credibility in the terms of these people work with the government and for the government, and it would take a lot for them to, come forward and offer disclosure. And I just went to Contact in the Desert, which is the largest UFO conference, and these poor military whistleblowers are shook to their core. I mean, they're
Mm.
being harassed. They're afraid to have kids. I mean, these are huge emotional weights that these guys have taken on in the name of disclosure. And so
Wild.
we honor, thank you for your service. We honor their ability to come through, to offer credibility in some instances, because we know these guys are kind of part of the system. And so for them to speak out against it has real repercussions. However, as we also talked about in the Ariel School Phenomenon episode, we're getting a little bit obsessed with the guns and the defense and the war. And I think we're missing a lot of the spiritual context around this. I mean, this is not a new idea or a thought, but if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And if you're
Mm.
part of this defense industrial complex, then everything is going to be a threat. And so I would like us to pull back a little bit and refocus on the spiritual aspect of the phenomenon, because here's what we do know. If they wanted to blow us up, they could. We would all be dead. Bye bye. I mean, we are so
Yeah.
evolutionarily bibis in comparison to what they can do telepathically, what they can experience. And what we also know is that the reason that the phenomenon hangs around these bases is so that we don't blow ourselves up. Like they're offering almost safeguards. So to think of the phenomenon as anything less than peaceful is a real is you're making a real choice that
Yes.
is not in alignment of what we know.
And because it's one of those things where, I mean, I think they're interdimensional. I think that they
I agree.
straddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that it's not necessarily that they have like crazy technology, but they're just like tapped in and can disappear
Yeah.
into a different dimension or whatever.
Yeah.
And because of that, to me, aliens are in the realm of magic and not in the necessarily just like sci-fi.
Yeah.
Because there's something also, the thing to remember, which we talked about in the Ariel School Phenomenon episode, is that they communicate telepathically.
Hmm.
And to me, telepathy falls in the psychic space.
A million percent. Amen.
All of this to say, what a fun surprise that the Ariel School Phenomenon episode is our.
One of our top. Yeah. One of our top.
I am so glad that people are into it because we talked about this a lot like, oh, is aliens too big a jump?
Right.
But I'm glad that it's
People
not.
are here for it. Listen, we're gonna go in some fun places throughout the season. You know, we've got some more mythical beasts coming your way. We've got some more incredible historical women who you don't know about, who you certainly will. And we're so very excited. If you have listened, if you've shared, if you've commented, we want to say from the bottom of our hearts, we are so excited to have you part of our little coven here. We love making the show. We have so much fun. Join us for the coven meeting on June 29th if you'd like to come and kiki with us, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've also got our workshop.
We have a workshop out available now. The first workshop is about signs. So we go even deeper than the Witch TV in these workshops. And we talk about what is a sign, how to call in signs, how to receive signs, how to work with them. We do a guided meditation to help you connect with your guides and receive a sign in meditation so you can walk away with something in that moment. It's a great time. People seem to really be enjoying the workshops. And also, coming up next, at some point in time, because time is a construct, so who knows, but one day we have another workshop coming out about opening to channel. And so we love putting these out there. And if you join us on the Coven tier, you'll have immediate access. Or if you sign up just for the Patreon on the free level, you'll get notifications as these workshops drop.
Absolutely. And then I should also say, you know, if you are looking for a little bit more, Rhiannon and I do one-on-one readings that you can book with us. And I have to read this comment from Jenna, who booked a soul story session with Rhiannon and goes on to say she shares some beautiful stories in the Patreon. She leaves us a gorgeous review and says, I would absolutely recommend booking a session with Rhiannon if you're thinking about it. I'm happy to get into more details if anyone is curious. And I love that our coven member, Jenna, is giving Rhiannon a shout out about how gorgeous her reading was and how she had so many aha moments. So if you want to read more about what it's like to get a reading, you can book us in the show notes below, of course.
It's always like such a joy when people are moved because it feels like that's the point of it. So I love it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to thank the audience. We're halfway through the season.
Yeah.
We got so much more to come. Spoiler alert, Battle of the Fates is coming this week. Get on your Disney Pluses, download, get your bells out, talk to your deities. We've got Katie Rosen coming on the show. We've got other incredible guests like Chelsea Devontes, Cara Daniels, Rebecca Allman, Jordan Mancata. So we have so many incredible guests coming your way. Stay tuned, guys. More to come. Leave a comment, join the Patreon. We love you.
Love you.
Goodbye, you gorgeous witches.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Hidden History of Magic. If you like the show, please rate and review us on your favorite podcast platform. This show is produced by Rhiannon Houch and Erin Bagwell. A very special thanks to our patrons who make this podcast possible.
To join our coven of gorgeous witches, get bonus episodes, attend live events, and learn real magic inspired by each episode, join us on Patreon.
If you would like your own personal reading from Rhiannon or Erin, check out our links in the show notes. Until next time.